Hello and welcome to John's Detecting Adventures. This evening we're on a guest interview with my friend Clive, all the way from Canada. He's going to give us an update of what he's been up to, because he's a book author on different metal detectors and a beach hunter. So let's get Clive and let's just get an update of what he's been up to this year and last year. Right, here we go. Where is it? Hi, Clive. Welcome, matey.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Brilliant, pal. So, are you
Thanks
still
for
with
having
the
me,
same?
John.
Are you still with the same machine, then, pal?
Well, I use quite a few machines. Even when I travel with 4 or 5 detectors. But my primary detectors right now are the Manticore. I have all 3 coils for it. I use the Fisher Impulse AQ. I find that to be quite an amazing detector. And the Equinox still in certain situations, it's almost debatable. People are saying that's as good as the Manticore in salt water, and it's maybe better in black sand. I don't know if that's true. I'm still testing that. I also use the White's dual field too. Those are some of the detectors that I run.
So, what's your favorite one then? Is it still the Manticore?
Well, right now, I'm still learning what the Manticore will do, and it's proving to be quite an effective detector. It's certainly got the best target information of any machine on the market to date, and the processing is very, very sophisticated, better than anything else on the market, I would say. It has the potential, it has the potential to be adjusted, set for just about any conditions. And there's not many machines you can say that about that don't have any major shortcomings. So I consider the Manticore to be the one we've been waiting for. It's got it's got no build issues as some of the other ones that will remain nameless had, and it does a lot of things. I find it to be a very effective detector, and learn as much as I can from others, and maybe that'll coalesce into a second book at some point.
Yeah. What have you been finding? Have you been out detecting at all?
For sure, absolutely. I just found a nice diamond cluster ring last week. That one is kind of very small size. Don't know if I can focus that in. It's a very small size, but it's 9.8
No, that's
grams.
it. Got it.
So
Got it.
it's
Got it.
basically $500 Canadian,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
it's full of diamonds. Quite a nice find there.
And what number was that on the Manticore?
What was it?
What was the number ID?
That's a good question. I don't really pay attention to the numbers very much. It was more of the sound, because I'm hunting in the water, in the salt. And I didn't really notice at the time, but I got it with the big coil, and I got it on the sidewall, which is, where the interference is. So I was quite impressed that, where I hunt a lot of the time, there's a lot of pros hunting these spots every day. So the Manti with the big coil just went down deeper than the machines they're using, which is like the Equinox 900 and the Equinox 800 and Excaliburs with big coils. And, these are some serious hunters. So to get a little bit of an advantage running that Manticore with the big coil, and just the level of fidelity that offers in that kind of a situation where you want to have a stable signal in difficult conditions, that's where this sophisticated processing comes in, and I was able to get that from probably about, let's say over, 17, 18 inches down, with certain settings that I'm running with the salt water,
Yeah.
So that's a big find there, 500 Canadian, just the scrap, with these gold prices. It's, my health is a little bit dodgy for some of my joint issues, but overall I can hunt for short periods of time, and try to be as effective as I can when I am hunting. And it's tough here in Canada because there's not that many sites, and there's just more and more people looking for the same gold every year, so you got to really, and it's just like anywhere, you got to bring everything you got. And that's why running the multiple machines helps too. I always say that at a given site, you either need depth, you need accuracy, or you need coverage, or sometimes you need all three. you know. So having various machines to choose from, you can turn one of those up when you have a lot of competition and maybe go a little deeper, be a little bit more accurate in the high trash areas, or just plain cover a ton of ground. Like my friend is one of the top pros in the world, a guy named Roland, and he has a ton of patience. You know, I mean, I see him go to these beaches that there's not much there, you know, but like as far as the numbers are down because especially because the place we hunt, there used to be a lot of Russians and they're not traveling now. So the numbers are down. These places are very hard to hunt, but his strength is he just gets in there and he does the job of covering these great swaths of land. And he's coming up with some amazing stuff just because of the strength of his patience, you know, that he doesn't, you know, give up after an hour. And this is one thing he's taught me is to hunt these places on the basis of how long you put in, you know. He always says you have to pass at least 3 hours there to even have a chance of getting something. And that's the way he works, is he'll hunt these great big places and he doesn't need any encouragement. You know, he doesn't need to find anything that says, oh, there might be more. He just does the job of covering the place, you know. So coverage is a very important skill to learn, you know. The patience to cover is what I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, that's exactly, yeah. It's the same.
To play your hunches out too, you know, when you think there might be somewhere, to do the job of covering the entire place, you know. And I watch a lot of these top pros in the Caribbean, and I tell you, they have some serious patience and some serious skills, you know. And some of them are deep water hunters that work with fins and snorkel, and they're very, very skilled, you know, especially at staying under the water. They go down. You could make a cup of tea and boil a cup of tea and drink it, and then they come back up, right? Former conch divers and you know, scuba spear fishermen. So they are no joke to compete with.
Skill in its own. That's a skill in its own.
Yeah.
You know. So and so what? I know you've been writing some more books, haven't you? Different variations of books. What books have you been writing and have you completed then? About
years or so. I've done one on the Legend.
Oh, right.
I feel is a very nice little machine. It's got an incredible set of features. You know, it's like a detector that a beginner can buy and they never need to get anything else. As long as they're a serious hunter who's willing to learn their skills, some basic skills, and to learn the machine, you know, they never need to get anything else. And it's a very well accessorized detector, the Legend. And, you know, I can't say enough about it, especially for the price. It's just got, it's a very full featured detector, you know. So I did a book on that one, Manticore. So I've done a book on that too. It's actually the only book on the market on this detector. And it's a very detailed book that teaches people how to combine the technology of the Manticore with simple basics and to really get the most out of this machine, to really get your money's worth out of this machine, you know. So
it's brilliant.
I think it came out pretty well, and it's gotten some great feedback from hunters in Britain, you know, the UK, and in Australia too, where they also have very tough conditions, you know. A group in England and somebody will say, oh, our conditions are so different, but that's not true at all. That, you know, it's the same detector and physics are the same anywhere, and the kind of skills that you need to recognize targets amongst iron and to, you know, look for quality signals by looking for sets of target characteristics and different things, sort of just to be able to go beyond meter and tone, you know, to not have to play the lottery by just hearing and digging, you know, and have a little, just to develop your accuracy a little bit every time you go out, you know. So that's something that I try to, you know, I would say, given the chance, is that I like to think that the skills I teach in my books apply to any kind of conditions. It's the same detector, and the physics of you know, detector theory don't change, you know.
How many books have you got now then?
I think I've got about 26 book titles now, you know, 3 on the Equinox, 4 on the Excalibur, 4 or 5 that are general water hunting skills, like how to find gold at the shore. I've got one on pulse induction hunting, you know, which always gives you a huge advantage over any any VLF detector, multi-frequency or not, you're still going to get
Depth.
better, better depth in salt, better
Response.
target, a better response on stuff that's small and upended rings and chains and that kind of thing. You're always going to get a better response with a pulse.
And,
So those are some of
if
the
somebody
books
wants
I
to,
have.
if somebody wants to buy these machines, these books, where would they look then?
Well, I have a website. It's clivesgoldpage.com.
Right. So they go on there and
right up, and it's a totally the ordering goes straight to PayPal, so it's as secure as it gets. When you press to order, it takes you straight over to PayPal. So you're not ordering on my site; you're ordering from PayPal. So it's ultra secure, and it's a pretty good site my friend has made for me. So.
Great.
And I have a few dealers here and there. I don't have any in the UK presently, but I've got one in Australia. I've got, multiple dealers in the States. Pretty good deal, considering I've been digging for 45 years, and I try to bring that into every book that I write,
And what's your future and updates then that you're planning to do this year then, Clive?
Interested in the XP Deus 2. I may get one of those and start to look at that machine. I'm still sort of taking in some reviews from people, but I certainly hope to. I'm retired now, so I hope to sort of redouble my efforts and just get out there and compete, because the guys that I talk to, they're still making big finds and using in having some knowledge and some skills if you're not getting out there and putting in the time to win. So it's like I've won in the past and I plan to win again.
Yeah.
It's tough. I go to these places and every fly speck of metal in the water has been dug up, and half the time they just put it right back there for you to hear too. But that's part of the skill. That's another reason is to develop your accuracy, to have any advantage that you can, is to work on building your accuracy little by little, and learning to use the whole detector, to learn the whole detector and all the information, especially a machine like the Manticore, all the information that's available with a sophisticated processing detector like that, the audio information, the meter information, the graph information, there's just a ton of information coming in if you know what it's telling you,
Yeah, and it's understanding it. Have you ever had to go with any other Quest machines at all, Clive?
Quest machines? No, I know I know of them. I've seen them, and they're quite a sophisticated little detector. The orange ones, they're quite a cool detector.
Yeah, I'm just testing out the Quest 80 at the moment, which is the top one. Cracking piece of kit. There's a lot of tech and build in that for a third of the price of some of the top machines.
Yes. So I'm
brilliant.
Seeing some of these British machines coming out, like the Rutger, and the tech is very sophisticated and very exciting. I'm ready to thinking of ordering one of those too, just to see what it has to offer.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of machines coming out, isn't there? Well, is there anything else on your updates that you want to tell us, or is it sort of? Have you got any way that you're planning to go then this year, or meet? Or
that's a good question. A friend, I've always wanted to go to Detectival. I don't know if I'll make it this year. It might be for the fall, but I've always also wanted to see the British Museum, of course, and press my nose up against the bakery window, so to speak, right? But I hope to do that at some point. And a friend of mine has invited me to the south of France, and he finds quite a bit there. He found a beautiful. It's like a gold cache that someone would carry with them. And it was a big chunk, and it's fitted to sit in the palm of your hand and be concealed. I guess somebody would walk with it, transporting, value with them with this thing. And if highwaymen approached, they'd just throw it into the bushes and retrieve it later. And I guess they threw it and didn't come back to retrieve it at some point. And it's just a big, just a disc, palm-sized disc of gold, an incredible find, So they find some very, very exciting things in the places, these places, you know.
Yes,
And
so that's what you put.
that's all that's my siren song right there. That's all I need to hear. Big heavy gold. That's the mantra point, you know, case in point. So
Oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to take the Manticore out to our beach. I've got to
Mhm.
take it out on one of our big beaches at the moment. I've been doing a lot of pasture and a bit of ploughed land. So, you know, like I say, I'm still learning the Manticore, and I love it. I got to tell you, yeah, I'm like you. I love the technology, and I love what it does. But I'm sure once we get really on it, settings and know it precise, I think it'll be an absolute brilliant machine once we can recognize a bit more, because obviously we want to dig less trash, don't we? And
Absolutely.
dig
A little bit
dig
more
more
accuracy,
positive
you
side.
know.
That's the
You
learning
know,
curve.
I sort of rebel against this winning the lottery type way of treasure hunting. You know, I just believe, you know, that the skills that I was taught in the very beginning were skills to help you improve your accuracy, just using the all metal mode to check your targets, and using the cross sweep and looking for sets of target characteristics. You know, the one shortfalling of the Manticore that I see is it could be run higher in salt water. I mean, there's such a thing as a balanced low signal, which is also something that I subscribe to, is, you know, not necessarily trying for these gonzo noisy settings, because, you know, I just have seen, even like with the Equinox, running the Equinox down at 19 in salt water, the number of advantages that can give you as far as just the signal traveling further down into the matrix, and just the audio signal quality, the information that you get, like targets sound their own size rather than being hopped up by all this gain, you know. And this is another thing that I've learned from using this small coil, is that you know, when you use that coil, it teaches you the value of signal balancing, because a whole nother set of small and upended targets become available to you. It's quite surprising. Not only can you run higher sensitivity, but what that tells you is that running the stock coil and the 15, the large coil, is that just how much stuff you're missing when you turn those big coils up, because, you know, the ground signal is just plain overpowering them. But when you take that field size down, you know, the signal to noise ratio becomes a lot more efficient. So you are hearing this stuff on edge, and you're hearing, you know, small gold and chains and bracelets, and, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but most lost gold is small. And, you know, for using in these key areas like beachfront and that, you know, where the big numbers are in sunbathing areas, you know, that coil is great. And, you know, it teaches you a lot about the value of signal balancing, which is something that I talk about a lot in all my books, you know.
Oh, that's brilliant, that. Well, that's brilliant. I mean, it's been great listening to you, Clive. We've had a bit of update and various information. I'm sure we'll have a further update, because I think you might be doing some more books later on.
Sure, there's a possibility. Yeah, there's a possibility.
So just to recap, you know, if somebody wanted to order the books, they go to your website, which is called
clivesgoldpage.com. CLIVES gold page.com.
Okay, brilliant, pal. Well, thanks for that then. Thanks for the interview. It's been very interesting. So catch up on sort of information. I'll give you.
I don't know. I'm just gonna. Oh, there he is. He's back.
Yeah, it just went off.
The matrix glitched.
Yeah, no, don't ask me. It's just probably because it's such a distance away. No problems.
Yeah. Awesome.
So what we'll do, well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you another time, pal.
Thanks again for having me, John.